Hello, everyone, and welcome to Angie Talks TV, where you'll see reality TV show reviews, crime stories, and stories on real life experiences. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Researchers at Brown University say prestige, interest, preparation, and satisfaction of America's teachers are at or near their very lowest point in over a half century. This coincides with a teacher shortage. A team of researchers from American universities say there are at least 55,000 vacant positions nationwide. The crisis facing America's teachers has been the focus of several reports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Teachers are quitting their jobs in large numbers. A lot of them complain of feeling burnout, underpaid, and not feeling the support of administration or other staff. So why are teachers quitting their jobs? These teachers have spent years going to school to earn their degree to do what they love, teaching. Let's hear some of the stories in this video to find out why they decided to leave their job. Let's get started.
Hey, what's up?
Kevin, how did you learn my first name? No one knows my first name.
Hey.
I'm going to strangle you.
Hey. How's it going, Rosemary?
What the actual fuck did you call me?
What's up, Shelby? How you been?
Get out of my room. Have you lost your mind?
Hi, Amanda.
Hey, Michelle.
What's up, Justin? What? What's up, Tom? Semester test. Oh.
What grade you teach?
Pre-K.
What grade you wouldn't teach?
None of them. None whatsoever.
What grade you teach?
Kindergarten.
What grade you wouldn't teach?
Anything above third grade.
What grade you teach?
Pre-K through 5th.
What grade you wouldn't teach?
Pre-K through 5th.
What grade you teach?
4th.
What grade you wouldn't teach?
Kindergarten.
What grade you teach?
I teach first grade.
What grade you wouldn't teach?
I wouldn't teach fifth grade.
Okay. What grade you teach?
Pre-K.
What grade you wouldn't teach?
Pre-K.
What grade you teach?
Kindergarten.
What grade you wouldn't teach?
Anything past third.
The teacher shortage is real. Little Bam Bam now. They about to send us out the door. Baby, you can't handle them at home. Then you send them up here to us. What we supposed to do? We can't teach them. We can't discipline them. Nothing. Sometimes I just feel like a babysitter. You stand up there, you teach your heart out. You give it your all. As soon as you get them a worksheet, they don't know the first thing you said. And then you constantly, while you're teaching, sit down, stop, don't do that, don't do this, don't talk to that person, stop, put the pencil down, listen, eyes to the board, eyes to the teacher. But then, when I give you a child what they make, now you want a parent-teacher conference. And another thing, we need a lunch break longer than 30 minutes, okay? By the time we take the kids to the cafeteria, turn around, restroom break, because we don't have an assistant, so we are holding our urine. So now we go to the bathroom, the restroom, to use it. Heat up our food, come back to the room. Baby, you got about 3 chews in you before you have to march back down that hall and pick them up. Sorry, I just feel like venting today. In other news, I look cute today. I feel good. When you look good, you feel good. And I feel good today. Over some of the things that have happened in the classroom, I'm over it. But at least I look good doing it. I guess a win is a win. A win is a win.
Mom said I had the right to beat your ass.
And this is one of the reasons why I quit. After a degree, after clinicals, after 5 years of teaching, one of those reasons is why I quit. And what had happened was I had a difficult student who he would come in high, he would sleep all class period, wrote him up, admin did absolutely nothing. To a point to where some admin were deleting my referrals, deleting them. I would go back in and they would be gone for multiple students. And my last straw was the same kid. We were about to read. The audio was for 10 minutes and 16 seconds. 10 minutes and 16 seconds, I was asking students to put their phone away. And I kept asking him and he wouldn't oblige. And he turns around to me and he says, "You annoying as fuck." That day I put in all my sick time. I put my 2 weeks in. I walked out. I ain't been back since. My stuff's still sitting in that desk. Y'all can kiss my ass.
Teachers are leaving is not because of teacher pay. And I will tell you why. I'm a band director, which means I get paid more than most teachers. It's an incentive to show up and stay late, for sure, but it's not enough. Even if every teacher in the state of Texas got a $10,000 raise per year, we would still be dealing with some of the same issues we're dealing with right now. Let me just tell you what I've been dealing with in the last 48 hours. There's a list. Yesterday, I broke up an assault in my band hall. Not a fight, an assault. A kid punching another kid in the head at least 4 or 5 times. Some mystery kid decided to get creative over the last 12 hours when I wasn't paying attention and literally took every single string off of every single French horn that we own, making them unplayable. I set up a drum set station for my percussionists. I was so excited because they have been begging me all year to play drum set. It took 24 hours for somebody to break the hi-hat. People stealing and using instruments that aren't theirs, even if it's in a locker. I had another kid hit somebody else in the face when their trumpet was on their face because they were blowing it in their direction. I had another kid in the same class flip me off and then try to lie about it. And before you come at me in the comments saying I knew what I signed up for, yeah, I do get it. But I've been told from multiple people on my campus that the band kids are the best acting, well-behaved students on campus, and I still have to deal with this garbage every single day. This is not a money problem. It's not an admin problem. It's not a parent problem. It is an emotional dysregulation problem. Never in my 13 years of teaching have I ever had such a problem with kids keeping their hands to themselves and keeping them from destroying property. I understand they're kids and part of our job is to keep them regulated and to teach them how to do it, but I have repeated myself so many times this year. I have posted things on the wall. I've given them lectures. I've written them up. I've failed them. The corrective measures that we've used in the past do not work anymore. These kids do not care if they fail. They do not care if they're written up. They do not care if they get OSS. The only thing that most of them care about is how they're going to be entertained in the next 5 minutes of their life. And I try not to be a millennial teacher that blames technology because I am steeped in technology. I love TikTok. I use technology in my class all the time. But it's as if some of these kids have literally given up on life. It's like they've given up on doing anything special, and they're 12. They're 12. I was so excited to start this year because I wanted to make some kind of an impact and get back into the classroom, but I feel like I've been chasing my tail all year. I love my kids, but I'm beaten and abused and tired. The system doesn't work and we are failing them, and the teachers, we're failing teachers too.
Let me tell you why I quit being a teacher. Some of y'all are probably confused because you see I post a lot of subbing videos. No, y'all, I used to be a whole elementary school teacher. I taught 4th grade reading. I want to start off by saying it wasn't the kids at all. It also might just be the district I'm in, I don't know, but I feel like administration was a big one for me. Not all in the administration, just some people were, just messy and couldn't come to adults and talk to them. I also felt like I look young already, so I feel like adults felt like they just had more authority and could get me to do just any and everything, just because I look young, which isn't fair at all. Also micromanagement, just being in the classroom, being a first-year teacher, I get that, you're gonna have people coming in, checking on you and whatnot. That's fine, but when it gets to the points where I know you're coming in there and you're constantly just watching me while I'm teaching the kids, I don't like that. Also, a lot of the behavior issues. For my kids that wanted to be there and wanted to listen and learn, I'm there. I'm also there for my kids that aren't so much on that side, that kind of want to, act out and whatnot, need a little bit more attention. Just know, overall, it's hard to teach a class with a lot of a lot of behavior problems. Even if it's 1 or 2 kids, that can really change the whole classroom to where they're getting everyone off task and then you can't teach. And the fact that administration comes in and they'll get them and they'll take them out and they'll send them back with candy and all types of things where I'm just like, okay, it just defeats the purpose because they're thinking, oh, I'm good, this is going to happen every time. Also, how the schedule was, you're supposed to, mind you, it's a whole classroom with like 18 to 20 children at that. They don't have a long attention span, and you have to teach them these mini lessons within 15 minutes of each other. Like, I wish I could show y'all how the schedule is. Everything is timed out. Reading, writing, pop, everything. It's just not enough hours in the day. And I feel like without having that help, I feel like I honestly just didn't have enough help. And I know what you're thinking, why don't you just ask for help? And I did. I would ask for help. It just gets to a point to where I'm not going to keep asking help to certain people that want to catch attitudes or get irritated if, they just showed me how to do something a couple weeks, prior, and I don't know, or I forget because it's 30,000 other things that are thrown on my plate. Another thing with teaching is it's always something, and y'all, I was a long-term sub. I consider myself I say I'm a teacher though because I did everything a teacher does, and I don't get paid like a teacher. They wanted me to come in and, in a sense, just know everything. It's like, I didn't know anything, y'all. I knew nothing. I didn't know how to put no grades in, nothing. And there are a lot of other things I feel like that go into this video, but I'm not trying to make it super duper long. It just got to the point where I felt like I didn't have enough help. I was getting very stressed. I would have to go home, do slides, my lesson plans every night. It was just like, go to work all day. You had to stay after for meetings or whatever you had to do, and then you leave, go home. I would go to the gym. As soon as I'm done working out, I would be tired because y'all not understanding. In elementary school is different from high school and middle school. You are up with them kids talking 24/7. I was standing on my feet all day. You have to walk. They have to take a bathroom break. You have to take them to PE. You have to take them to recess. You're taking them every day. You have to pull small groups and get up. You're doing so much movement. Y'all, teachers probably have so many steps on their watch.
I quit teaching. This has been my 5th and final year of being a teacher. If you follow me on TikTok, you probably noticed that I have not posted in a couple months. I haven't posted since February. I have been kind of checked out and mentally and emotionally done with this job. I'm leaving, and it wasn't a decision that I have taken lightly. This is a decision that I have been thinking about all year. This year has been extremely challenging for me. I'm not sure if, for those of you who are not in education, are aware of what's happening in schools, but it's not easy. I don't think people truly understand what teachers are going through. Lots of children are not told no at home, which makes my job extremely difficult when it comes to having them hold accountability for their actions and their mistakes and following directions and keeping their hands to themselves. This year, I have been cursed at by both students and parents. I have been hit, punched repeatedly. And what hurts the most is the lack of support from the families when you are telling them and explaining what their child did. Instead of asking you, are you okay? Or my child did what? They ask you, well, what did you do to make them upset? Or are there cameras in the room? The behaviors that I have had to put up with this year are behaviors that I have never experienced as a teacher so far. I have cried so much, more than I have, like with all my teaching of years combined. I feel like I have taken off so many days from my mental health because I have not been able to mentally or physically bring myself to school. Education is not in a good place right now. It's really bad. I have so many stories that I could talk about that I will be posting later, but it's time to go. It's time to go. Again, this was not an easy decision, but I do feel that it is necessary for myself and my own mental health. And it does break my heart that I am walking away for something that I went to school with and had so much passion for, but that passion is gone. I parent more than I do teach. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I am excited to announce that I will be starting a new job at Heartland Church this July. I will be working as their digital communications coordinator, and I'm very excited for this opportunity. I'm excited to try something different and to start a new passion. So, thank you.
first year high school English teacher. This is definitely going to be my first and last year teaching. I was made very quickly aware of the fact that this is not the profession for me. It is absolutely astonishing and scary how your kids are 14, 15 years old and still do not have the proper reading skills. And I'm not talking about the ESC kids, the 504s, the IEP kids. I'm talking about your everyday regular Joe Schmo from Kokomo kid who does not know how to read and write at the level that they should. And the problem is that they don't care to learn how to do those things correctly. I can't teach the class because your kid wants to be a disruption, because your kid wants to be on their phone, because your kid does not give a flying about their education. The problem really, yes, the problem is your kid. The problem is also you as a parent, but the problem is also the administration who continuously makes these stupid excuses for these kids' bad behavior. Why in the world are you still talking about COVID? Every time these kids act up, it's always, well, they spent 2 years in COVID. So did everybody else. That was 2 years ago. At what point are we gonna stop blaming COVID for these kids' bad behavior? At what point are we gonna stop making these excuses for these kids? They are the problem. When you are stopping your teacher from being able to teach the entire class because you don't want to follow directions, that is a you problem. And the thing is, the teacher will always get blamed. Every single time. It's always the teacher's fault. The teacher can't manage their classroom well. The teacher doesn't have the patience. The teacher this, the teacher that. When are you going to start holding your kids accountable for their bad behavior? This is why all these teachers are leaving, because they're tired of getting blamed for your kids' wrongdoing, for your lacking as a parent, for your lacking as an administration. My job as a teacher, it should just be to teach my curriculum. My job as a teacher should not be to be the therapist, to be the nurse, to be the parent, to be the, I don't get paid enough for that. Like when teachers talk about the problem with pay, that's what they're talking about, because you're requiring all of us to do all the work of like 4 different careers, but only paying us for 1. The districts are all afraid of the parents complaining. The administration is afraid of the parents complaining. The parents are afraid of the kids who don't want to do their job. And who's left to pick up the pieces? The educators, the teachers. Because if these kids fail, y'all are gonna make it seem like, well, the teacher wasn't doing their job. It's the teacher's fault. No, it's your kid who came to my class, sat there, twiddled on his phone. She wanted to sit here and talk to this girl, do everything but what they're supposed to be asked. And I cannot get them to do their work because they don't care. And they know you're gonna make excuses for them. And that's why they continue to do the same things that they do. When these kids get sent to ISS, for whatever the case may be, you know what happens? Nothing. They just sit there on their phone or sit there on their laptop and do nothing. It's essentially free time for them. What are they learning from that? Sure, they might miss out on an assignment, but then hearing their parents come talking about what can my child do to make up their grades? How about stop getting suspended? How about when I'm teaching a lesson, close your mouth? How about when I tell you to do something, instead of rolling your eyes and having a nasty attitude about it, you just do it? Put the discipline back into the schools. I'm not saying bring back the paddle, bring back the actual disciplinary actions, because these kids are not learning a thing.
I never knew that I would be the one to say this, but I hate being a teacher. I hate it so much. I hate everything that comes with it, from the paperwork to the politics to the damage that I'm doing to our kids. And it's getting to the point where I just can't do it anymore. I cannot continue to work for a system. Now, I don't have anything against the people who do good inside of education, public education, private education, no matter what. But when it comes to this actual system of schooling, I can't do it. Now, that's not to say that I do not love the art of teaching, but I just hate being a teacher. And I don't know when this came up. I don't know when this popped into my head, but ever since it came into my mind, it's been very, very heavy. I've been honestly thinking about all the things that education is, or schooling is today. And for example, we have so many arbitrary rules that students are expected to conform to. I feel like this schooling that we have right now is nothing but who can create the biggest dog and pony show, horse and pony, however you say it, who can create the biggest show, and it's all about money. It's all about data. It's not really for the kids anymore. And well, I don't know, it never was for the kids. And I think that's one of the reasons why it has driven me to this mindset, to this point. I'm more of a person who wants to see the kids develop and wants to see them grow and genuinely cares about their learning process. But schooling nowadays, teaching nowadays is not it. I just can't do it.
Hey Queens, so it's a post on Facebook that's going viral, and it says something like how hard it is to work with this generation of students. Dare I say it's harder to work with this generation of administrators and teachers. Let's get into it. So I made a list of why I think it's harder to work with this generation of teachers / administrators. Some of them, because it's not all y'all. Some administrators are very good. And I've worked for a few very good administrators and worked with a few very, very, very good teachers. But I'm gonna click this pen because I'm clocking to you. Number one, I wanna discuss the overall lack of professionalism in education. The first note that I wanna make is that these days, teachers are talking about other teachers to students. In what world is that okay? Even worse, you have administrators who will talk badly about teachers to students as well. I know that I didn't take education courses in college because I didn't want to be a teacher, but most of these people took education classes in college. There's no way that you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college to learn to talk about your colleagues in front of students. I know they didn't teach y'all that. So the problem with teachers and administrators discussing teachers negatively in front of students is that it causes there to be a lack of respect from students to their instructors. So when you got teachers and administrators talking trash about me down the hallway, you have those same students coming back and not giving me the respect that I deserve, that I give them, because that's what they're seeing around campus. Adult behavior directly reflects onto students. So what type of climate, what type of culture are you building when you do stuff like that? Other thing is that students sometimes show respect as much as it's demonstrated to them. So if you got teachers and administrators talking about their colleagues to kids, the kids gonna do what they see the grown people doing. They're gonna follow suit. You know, almost like in class, you do it, then y'all do it together, and then they do it by themselves. Y'all know that I do, we do, you do. They be doing that, talking about teachers. Number two is the catty and petty behavior amongst teachers. Are y'all well? Is everything okay at home? I don't understand if teachers are all working towards the same goal. If we're all working towards the same thing, why are we not working together? Why is there not a cohesive environment being built so that we can achieve those things? That's the type of stuff that we're dealing with these days. And I know I'm not the only teacher who's dealing with this. The problem that causes is that it creates a hostile and unproductive work environment. We have a lot of teachers who are leaving education because of the kids, but a lot of teachers are also leaving education because of their colleagues. I just feel like at this point, even with me, people would rather leave the teaching field altogether than to have to deal with bullshit every day. So this is what I would like. I would like for us as educators to bring integrity and respect back to education. Where did that go? When I first started teaching, I never had to worry about my colleagues talking about me in a classroom full of students. I never had to worry about administrators talking about me to students. Where is the decorum and the class that teachers used to have? Because I don't remember growing up my teachers talking about other teachers in front of us either. Professionalism, respect, camaraderie, it all filters downwards and it affects students. Students feed off of what they see and they use that stuff to their advantage. When they know that so-and-so teacher talking about this teacher, they already know that they can start mess with all of that and do what they want to do here and do it. It just creates chaos. Yeah, that's just one specific example, but those are the things that some of us educators are dealing with, the lack of professionalism in this generation of teachers and administrators. I think some of y'all need to go back to school. I think some of y'all need a little touch up or something. Thank you all for watching.
Okay, and that's the end of the video. I know a lot of teachers that I talk to, some of them complain about not having the support of administration and the parents. And that can be tough. It's not always that the kids are misbehaving or anything like that. You know, it's other things that cause teachers to want to quit their jobs as well. Let me know what you think. Drop down in the comments. If you're a teacher, definitely express yourself. Tell me or tell everybody in the comments and share, if you care to share, exactly what the problem is, you feel the problem is with teachers quitting their jobs. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.